comes on, I'm going to have to, because it takes a few seconds for me to turn on the recording button.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay, so, all right. Are we live now? Let me see. Yeah, we are.
Okay, awesome.
This is how I always begin when I start. And we're live. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in for our Women Wisdom Wednesday here in the Empowering Female Entrepreneur Group. And I'm so excited to introduce our female entrepreneur guest tonight because she's going to be able to provide a lot of financial tips for us as well as her services so that you'll be able to know what she does. And if whatever services she does offer and it resonates with you, feel free to contact her. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do have some gentlemen in this group. They're like,
Totally fine.
I'm so excited to have you all tonight. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Virginia Llanos, and I'm the host for this group. And I am a registered nurse by profession. I own a brick and mortar business, as well as my title is a business and health strategist, where I help you, the audience, to catapult your business in terms of your business and your health, and also so that we can empower each other to get stronger in our own business journey as far as getting prospects and clients to your service offer. So tonight I have a special guest, and she's originally from Israel. She moved to LA when she was about 12 years old. She has a nursing degree and a Bachelor of Arts, and also is a license to help people in the financial field. She's been in the financial field for about 2 years, and she didn't really know much about it, but she educated herself, and now she's helping a lot of people with their financial management and protection of their finances. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you this amazing woman by the name of Ravit Lonstein. And she'll give you some information to help you with your financial management and portfolio. All right, let's give her
Awesome. Thank you so much, Virginia. You're so sweet. Yeah, I just, we have, I basically, it's funny, I was like in nursing for a while. I've always wanted to help people. That was my thing. I've always wanted to make people better in some way, one way or another, right? And I did nursing for a while. Then I also went into real estate, and I find that, it's like whatever it is, whatever I could do to help them. And I noticed that real estate is great, but once you like sell one house, the chances of you basically selling another one is very slim from the same family.
True.
And you ended up working really, really hard. So my whole viewpoint was like, I was thinking at some point to become a broker because I saw that they were like making extra money from all the agents. And it's kind of like getting the whole residual thing and the whole passive income going. And I didn't end up doing it because, I kind of stumbled onto our company, which really has been an amazing experience. We really have a crusade to help a lot of people. We really have a motto of like, no family left behind. And we are basically put there to educate and raise awareness when it comes to money. So whatever the situation is, for me personally, I love empowering women. I love empowering men. I love to make people better in some way, versus, and a lot of people also need like hand holding. They don't know, they basically are stuck in the same situation and they can't get out. And it's just because of the lack of financial education, So when we sit down with people, we basically go through kind of like what they're spending. We also take a look and see, okay, what areas they could be improved. We have these financial literacy, actually, that's happening also tomorrow. We have a webinar that's at 12, 5, and 8 Pacific about building assets and things like that, and basically helping you for the future. And the other thing is, the one thing I find that most people are really not, it's almost like they are going through the same thing over and over. You know what I mean? And they go to family and friends, and a lot of times they're also in worse condition than they are.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not really pulling them out of the mud, or they're not really helping them with their kind of like to vision where they want to go.
Right.
So
Right.
so that's basically kind of like what we do. We also help provide people. We basically work out of inside the US and Canada mainly, because our big product providers and our huge companies that we work with, they're all here. So, you know, at some point I'd love to branch out to all of, you know, Europe and all other countries. But yeah, and then if there's obviously, if anybody also has ties to the US or Canada, then basically we can help sit with them and work on their own personal situation. And, you know,
So
so yeah.
well, the people that want to look into your company, they can actually do this virtually anywhere in the world.
Oh, anywhere. Yes,
Yeah.
we basically, since it's funny, because since I know it's not funny. I mean, it's kind of crazy with this whole situation, but it
Right.
kind of forced us to come out of our box and just
Mm.
say, look, let's help as many people as we can. So we've been doing Zoom.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
we basically kind of like expanding.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's a lot safer, definitely, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, you know,
Yeah.
and you get much more, you know, being in Los Angeles, I don't know, the
Oh my
traffic's
God.
usually so
Yeah.
bad, and
Oh,
now I don't spend hours in the car driving between
yeah. I mean,
clients.
it's more economically sound. I mean, you save gas, you save time. You can actually just come on, with your pajama bottoms and then just come on with your blouse. Just kidding. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are hopping on, we have a very special guest by the name of Ravit Lonstein, and she is a financial planner. So she's here to bring value to us to explain what her services are. And can you remind us again, reiterate what company it is that you're with?
Sure, it's called Revolution Financial Management.
Okay.
And we are basically a division of like Transamerica. So we're like basically with the huge companies. We work with all really, really big companies that are, you know, top, whatever, top 500 on Forbes, and like really huge, you know, they've been around since like the 1900s, which is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So I love that. And, you know, and the other thing, the other aspect of our company really is also to give back. We have
Yes.
one of our chairmen started a like a nonprofit. It's called the All for One Foundation. And then basically it's very cool because the company also matches like us. Basically they have orphanages all over the place,
Oh.
like in Sierra Leone, everywhere. And the company is always like matching the contributions, which I think I love, because
Yes.
it's one thing to be in better financial shape and to help people make, you know, a lot of money, right? But on the other hand, it's also to give back, I feel. And I love that aspect. I love to give back, and, you know, I'd love to do so much more, because I feel like the world really needs a lot of contributions. And there's something about seeing those kids, you know, they're like literally sharing one bed. Now they have like a soccer field, and they have like, they're teaching them, they have education, and, you know, they have abundance of food. And, you know, I don't know, it's just that my heart goes out to that when I see that. So yeah, they go visit them every so often, and they bring pictures back from the whole, from, you know, from, yeah, all those different, from Sierra Leone and all these different countries. And I just love that. So.
That's wonderful because there's like 7.2 billion people in the world, and there's like 2.5 billion people on social media. And it only takes one person to really advance our community, our world in general. And with each and every one of us doing our part, the world will be a better place to be. And so for ladies and gentlemen, if you folks are coming on live, drop a hashtag live at the bottom. And if you're watching this on replay, drop a hashtag replay. If you have any questions at all, just jot it down in the comments below, and Ravit and I will be able to help answer them for you. My name's Virginia Llanos. I'm the host for this empowerment group, and we're so happy to have you. I do have a couple of other questions for you, Ravit. You have some lessons. You started last week in terms of financial planning and management. And I looked it over, and really great subject matters, which really can pertain to us business women or businessmen, that we can really help our business, in a holistic way, so that, we're not only concentrating on one aspect, but we're concentrating on the whole situation of, finances, your health, and your protection, whether it be insurance or how to be debt free. So what are some of the categories you folks are teaching? And also, I understand it's the last day is tomorrow, and will you be having more free trainings?
We might, I'm not sure at this time, but we might. If we do, I'll definitely let you know. But they might do it every so often, but it's not, yeah, I'm not sure when they're going to put it on. But I love any kind of education they do because it's so essential. Basically, there's many different points. There's like debt, there's the biggest bubble right now is student loans. You'd be surprised. Crazy. And then what happens is they go to college, they rack up a lot of student loans, and when they come out, they have a minimum paid job, right? So they get minimum wage, so they're like left with like hundreds and thousands of dollars that they're in debt. And it's just obviously if it justifies for a specific profession, but a lot of times people are really drowning in those. And then also there's credit card debt. We could either change their situation, kind of like the way that they're paying versus, just tweak something in the schedule of what to pay first versus, and then obviously worst case scenario could be like debt settlement, things like that. It all depends to whatever degree. We help people with life insurance in terms of like being covered just in case something happens. We help them with building wealth. We help them with emergency fund, with wills and trusts, with basically making sure they're protected on all different levels. We've also helped them with pensions, 401ks, IRAs, like whatever basically is needed. And also there's also different products and services that, especially in the US, that if they're not tied to the stock market as well. So basically, if the market goes up, they make money. If the market goes down, they don't lose, which has basically a lot of people lost so much money in the last like 4 months since COVID hit.
Right. So ladies and gentlemen, it's all about education and being informed. So you have to do your research, see what resonates with you, what areas are you lacking in terms of what you don't know as far as what resources and platforms are out there, because there's a vast array of platforms and programs that might pertain to what you're doing. And you always want to safeguard what you worked hard for. And you want to make sure that if you have a business, you need to have all your team involved, your CPA, your bookkeeper, your lawyer, if you want to get a lawyer that can help with your trust. And definitely that's going to help you, protect all the things that you worked hard for, to protect your families as well. So, I did want to say that our guest tonight, she was a nurse before, and she changed over to this industry where she can be of more service to others. And she enjoys what she's doing. She's helping a lot of people. And so this is what this group is all about, is about being service to others and to help empower us. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us with tomorrow's lesson?
Tomorrow is actually great because it's like asset building, but also planning for retirement too. Even if it's a really young person or whatever, just the tips are just incredible. So it's an hour long, and they're going to go over different concepts and stuff. But the one thing I could say is that this area I know is it's very tough for people to kind of take the first step. But the main lesson that I've learned since I've actually been in this company is to start saving. If just putting it away and putting it somewhere where it actually builds versus the bank, right? So, and that's the thing. It's like, if you don't, it's like it's like a muscle. It's like when you start exercising and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to the gym. Like my muscles are like in so much agony. It's the same thing. If you don't develop, and it doesn't matter if you start with $10 or $20 or $100 a month or whatever, it has to become uncomfortable for you because obviously you're not saving enough, right? And I understand times are tough or whatever, but it's a muscle that has to be developed.
Yes.
Because even when people that have debt, a lot of times they'll say, oh, let me just finish the debt and then I'll start saving, or let me make more money and then I'll start saving, or they'll always like have something there. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't start now, it will be very difficult for you also to get to where you want to get to. Even if it's a longer runway, you still have to do that. But it's one of those things that nobody teaches you how to do.
Right. And when you talk about that, what pops in my mind is educating our young people, letting them know about the importance of really saving, like consistently and diligently, and just like be mindful of it, like make it automatically go into somewhere, and
Yeah.
when they start that now, I'm pretty sure they're spending for, food here and there. Why not just put away a little bit on the side and just like understand that the compound interest, when you put it in away somewhere where you can have protection. And so, for those mompreneurs out there, if you have children, start them young, because that's when their premium, if we're talking about insurance, is going to stay and remain at a lower rate. If you wait 5-10 years, they're going to be at a higher bracket. So it's going to be more expensive for them. So like I have 2 daughters, and we were living in Hawaii back then. My husband used to work for the city, and then the company had like an insurance company that allowed us to involve our children. So we went ahead and took advantage of that. And right now, I'm still paying the same amount. It's an IUL.
Right.
It's only $12, but it'll never go up. But they're creating wealth in the background.
That's right.
By the time they get older, I'm going to transfer it over to them because I got it for them when they were younger. And so, these things are important to understand and know to have. If I didn't learn about that, I would have missed all those years. So that's important to understand. And I have a little bit of an idea of the different types of insurances, like IUL, living benefits, as well as I actually have the other one. What was the other one where
There's term and then there's permanent.
the other one, the whole life. I have a
The
whole
whole life. Oh, okay.
yeah. And that one is a little bit more expensive, but you can borrow from yourself.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not going to go into details because I'm not the expert in that. You are, but I have a little bit of idea because.
No, that's great. That's fabulous. I'm so glad that you're doing that. That's great. The other thing is, I was going to say, the problem is also, I mean, it's God forbid it doesn't always happen, but because of the situation and because of the whole epidemic, people are like more depressed overall. So there's higher like suicide and this and that. I'll give you an example of my business partner's son's best friend is 26. And unfortunately, he first, I guess he was he basically he committed suicide, but nobody actually expected that. And it was heartbreaking just to hear that. But honest, and you know what, and you never think that the younger millenniums actually will actually do something like, right, like, or if God forbid something happens, even as an accident, right? But the lucky part that he was covered, he had life insurance, and that really help. I'm not saying it obviously can never fill the void. I mean, it's just a terrible thing.
Yes.
But at least he basically also saved for his sisters. And then because they were going to go to college, and then basically they had like a whole service for him, and they had like all the whole burial thing and whatever, because he was actually at least covered. You could only imagine though if he wasn't, and what would happen, and then what would happen to his family. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where nobody likes to look at that, because the thing is, we never know. We hope we live to 120, but you know what I'm saying? But it's so important to, especially and you know what, and if you're younger, then it doesn't cost very much,
right?
And even if it's something that's temporary and it's not necessarily permanent, it's better than nothing. And
Right.
then, if God forbid something happens, then, at least you're covered. So I think in that way also, and especially if people are married and they have kids and, and they probably think, okay, well, we don't have the budget for that. But, the thing is, if something happens to one of the parents, how are they going to handle that having nothing, right?
True,
Or
true.
having to go through and like literally put in another, you have to get like 2-3 jobs and to basically cover that income that's lost.
True. True.
So it's one of those things that people don't think about, but I think it's now also looked at. Younger people really need to start looking at that, because I think that it's also looking for the future. It's a lot cheaper, and it also gives them a lot of benefit. And then, what, it's like whatever their goals are, it kind of helps them with that too. So
Yeah. So that's what I was like really focusing on, to stress the fact that starting early is the best thing, because it saves you money, and it's going to hold you to a later date in your life. Because as you know, as we grow older, we'll have, more likely our health will decline, and then you might not get approved for a certain, amount. So it's a good idea if you're able to afford it, of course. It'll help you in the long run. But yeah, so wow, this is great information. Thank you so much, Ravit.
sure, I know.
So again, if you folks have any questions, just drop your questions on the comments below, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And feel free to jot down the link down in the comment, Ravit, so that we can
Sure.
perhaps attend your lesson tomorrow, right? You have to
Yes, yes.
register?
You guys can send me an email. It's RL Financial Guru, GURU @gmail.com.
Okay, great. So rlfinancialguru@gmail.com.
Yes, perfect. For the link, and it's at 12, 5, and 8 Pacific. So you guys can just email me with your phone number and your email address, and then we'll send you out the links.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All
Awesome.
right. Thank you so much for being my guest this evening. I really appreciate your time and sharing your service offer to our audience and to whoever else is watching. So have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you in the group.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.